Okay, nappy rash. Okay, a lot of parents, nappy rash, nappy rash, nappy rash. Pop your questions up as I natter, because I'm just going to natter. I've had a read of our blogs on the Cloth Nappy Doctor blog, so if you want more information, pop on there. Trudy's written a few, I've written a few. We've talked about preventative as well. So nappy rash comes about from a couple of reasons. Bub is weeing and pooing a lot, okay? And you might be changing all the time, but Bub's skin is reacting to that wee and poo. All right, maybe you've changed their diet, maybe they're teething, maybe they had something acidic, maybe they've started drinking a lot of juice, maybe, who knows. So that's one, all right, or they've been sick and then their bum starts to get a bit red. It could be you left the nappy on accidentally. It's okay if you do that. It's fine. I did it the other day and gave Abby a slightly red bottom. You feel bad, but it's okay. That's all right. That's okay. You get your creams and you apply them. What else can we have? If Bub has a skin condition, you're going to want to see your doctor. If they're sensitive. If you've got sensitive skin, so something we've seen over the past nearly 6 years now, is if the parents have sensitive skin, Bub usually has sensitive skin as well and is a little bit sensitive. So, nappy rash. Usually it starts out looking a little bit red, and I've got to say a disclaimer here. If at any point you are worried about a nappy rash, you think it looks funny, it's broken skin, it's really, really red and sore, Bub is crying a lot, you got an infection, anything, you go see a doctor. Go see your GP. They can give you the creams, they can give you the advice related to your child's sore bottom. Okay, so anything I say here is based on personal experience. I am not a medical doctor. I have a doctorate in economics. That has nothing to do with medical. I have a lot of experience with nappy rashes. So if at any point you're concerned, go see your GP. Don't even think about it. So let's talk about preventing nappy rash. Preventing nappy rash, change your child's bottom often, preferably when they wet it, is the best advice. Washing your nappies thoroughly. You could wash depending on your brand, and if you're gonna wash every 4 days, ensure you wash thoroughly. You get all that wee and poo out. You have lots of rinsing. You have a really good detergent. You agitate them. You get that water flowing through those nappies to remove all that wee and poo. Okay, so leaving Bub in their nappy, washing their nappies, preventing bum time. There is nothing better than nudie time, rolling around on the mat with nudie time, letting the bum get some air. Fabulous stuff. Even if you can put some cream on and have some nudie time. If you can't do that, just use a flat or a pre-fold or a fitted and leave the cover off. That is your next best option if you can't get nudie time because it's too cold. Child won't say, so Abigail can't do nudie time, obviously, she's 12. So we do just a fitted nappy and let her do her thing and play around on the floor. So that's your other option, airflow, okay? Materials, look at your materials. So my boys would get two of my boys would get a rash from sway cloth, just from the rubbing, so they didn't like the polyester. They were fine with microfleece, but the sway cloth they didn't like. Some kids don't like the microfleece. Thankfully now what's coming into Australia is that athletic wicking jersey. We found a lot of parents have had great success because it's a lot softer on the bottom and doesn't cause that friction. So preventing. You can add creams as a preventative as well. So if you know you've got sensitive skin, and Bub might have sensitive skin, you can add some gentle creams. Cloth Nappy Safe creams means you don't have to use a liner. It means it will wash out. Now, Cloth Nappy Safe creams mean that you just put a light covering on. So if you think of oil that's a little bit thicker, you just sort of put a little bit on. That's what it means by Cloth Nappy Safe. If you go and get a huge chunk and put it all over baby's bum and then put your nappy on, it might clog the fibres. and might not come out of the wash, and you might just have to wash them a bit more. Now, can you use creams with cloth nappies? Yes, you can. All right, so this whole thing about it must be a cloth nappy safe cream. You can't use cloth nappies if you've got to use your Benanthums, I think they're called, or pseudo creams, or your bacteria cream, Bactrim cream, all those. Yes, you can use your cloth nappies with any cream. All right, what you need is your liners. Okay, so you can use your disposable liners, are usually a good idea, and use 2 of them. So there's a nice barrier between your baby's bottom with the cream on it and the nappy, and those creams are not going to get into the fibres of the nappy. If you get the cream into the fibre of the nappy, you might just need to get a little bit of soap and work it in and get it out, and just might be a little bit of extra work. That's okay. That's right. Your nappies aren't ruined. You just need a barrier. You can use fleece liners. So we would use fleece liners for the boys, but we would use them maybe once or twice, depending how they went through the wash, and then chuck them out, depending on the cream. So if the cream was a very thick one, we would use that, and then we would end up ditching them. Okay, because we would chop up old blankets or old whatever. That's easy. Okay, so if Bub does have a red rash, all right, and you know it's not anything to be overly concerned with, but that little red patch isn't going, which we've got with Abigail at the moment, a rash generally should clear up within about a day if you're changing often. Make sure you change more often, try and get that air time. But at any time, if you're concerned, if that rash becomes all dotty and pimply, if it looks yellow and there's broken skin, don't even think about it. Get straight to your doctor. Get to your doctor and let them look at it and work out what needs to be done. Okay? I'm not the expert. So something that we would do with Abigail, who has very sensitive skin, is we would actually grab whatever the Nappy Safe cream was, something gentle, and we'd put an extra thicker layer on. All right, so there is a barrier between her bottom and the wee. That's what you're looking to do with your barrier creams, is getting that barrier between their bottom and the wee. It's not just to sort of cover the rash and get the rash disappearing, it's also to get that barrier between the wees. So if you see if you get a stay dry on your nappy, make sure there is pressure. So when they do wee, it goes through that stay dry layer. So like here. So make sure that is against their groin, okay, because this is a fleece. Make sure it's against their groin and there's not big gaps sitting, because then the wee could sit there a little bit longer before it actually goes through, because the stay dry layers need pressure to get through. That's how it doesn't come back out, and that's why it's stay dry. Okay, you can put an extra thicker layer on, all right, in between each change, and be consistent with putting it on. Get yourself a routine. So these are pumpkin butt. You can get them in the tubes. The tubes are good just for generally putting on. If Bub does have a rash and it is sore, the tubes can hurt, because depending on if it's like a cold day, it can actually push it, and a bit of pressure, and it can hurt. If it's a hot day, it might be a bit melted and just slide on, so just be aware of that. So sometimes having the option of the little pots or the stick can help. Nappy rash. Has anyone got any more questions about nappy rash? So to help prevent your nappy rash, airtime. If you can't get airtime, without the PUL cover is good. My brain's just gone dead. See, this is the problem when I do them late at night. This is like midnight for me. You can use your creams. This is a bit of a preventative, airtime. Washing your nappies really well. Changing. Don't leave Bub in a nappy. That is the one. So if you've accidentally left Bub in a wet nappy or a poo, or you go, I can smell something, but it's just not in that area, but I can smell something, and then you end up leaving them in a poo a little bit longer than you meant to, because you knew there was a smell. I've done that many times. It's all right. Just put your cream on. Get onto the cream. Have your cream there, ready to go. It's really good. Alrighty.